The Pledge of Allegiance was written in August 1892 by the Socialist minister Francis Bellamy. The original pledge read, "I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." Louis A. Bowman was the first person to initiate the addition of "under God" into the Pledge of Allegiance. In 1951, the Knights of Columbus, America's largest Christian organization at that time, began to include the words "under God" in their pledge. Bowman claimed that the words "under God" came from Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Again in 1952, a woman named Susan Arnold wrote a letter to the president informing him that many people believed that the phrase "under God" should be included in the pledge. Finally, in 1954, in response to communist threats, President Eisenhower convinced the Congress to add the phrase to the pledge. He believed that this would help unite people and make them support him in his fight against the communist threats.
I was originally not so bothered by the idea of that as I grew up with the Pledge of Allegiance, but now when you think about it, and I have had more experience with it, it does bother me a little bit to add religion into the Pledge of Allegiance. The term "under God" means to me that there is a higher authority looking over the state, and it's probably a specific God, and I think that that's exclusionary because it either is a particular God that may or may not be my God, or if I don't believe in God, it would exclude people. And in my case, I would feel more excluded because of that phrase. I think the church and state separation is a very important issue because there are a lot of places in the world that have this as the root of their conflict, where they have a government that is mixed with the state. And if the state has a particular religious slant, then it could create a bias towards some other minority or person that has a different way of thinking, and so it's harder for everyone just to live in peace next to each other if the state has an opinion on the subject.
We think that "under God" should definitely be taken out of the Pledge of Allegiance. This line in the pledge implies that even though the separation of church and state are so important, the government is closer to the Christian religion than you would think. Finally, many of the greatest wars have been started because of religion, and countries have been torn apart for the same reason. For example, ISIS, the Taliban, and even the Crusades are all conflicts and organizations that have started because of religion, and all have taken countless lives.